Yo, 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 what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening. What is good? Let the music play out just a little bit more before we get this fire started. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? I just touched down, went to the old London town. So, yeah, what is going on? Good evening. What is the story? I'll dive into that very shortly. Mad love, man. Yeah, man. I had to listen to the intro music, man, just for a bit. It is a jam. Most definitely a jam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get with the flavor, man. What's happening? What is good? Man, I've just come from a 3.5-hour journey, man. Absolutely done. But I'm always going to be stepping up to the charts, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't going to leave you guys to be worrying about what Bitcoin is going to be up to next. All right? Yes, the face reveal is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I said to you, it's all going to happen before 100K. I'm telling you now. There could be a live stream. There could be a New York live stream where we're bringing you that fire, shouting out Bitcoin prices left, right, and center. And then I'll just switch it up and say, yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? And then I'll reveal my face. Happy days. Then what happens? Nothing. We'll go back straight to the charts. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, mad love to all the people passing through. If you are new to the channel, you know what the flavor is. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got to have a conversation about this week, ladies and gentlemen. It's your late night update. And if you are new, my name is Tino. Welcome to Traders Reality, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get with it. Here we go. Firstly, we need to understand what's been going on in Bitcoin. Now, let's just quickly go over what had happened at the end of the week. So we go into the hour time frame, and you can see Bitcoin, bright as day, has done very well to hold on to its gains over that actually happened on Friday. Okay, so it's done absolutely brilliantly. 50 EMAs come towards the price. So we're now waiting for the next move with Bitcoin. Now, listen. Word on the street says that the dominance of the dollar is going to start rolling over in the short term. And we can see that is evident with the NASDAQ and the S&P doing very well to come back up into what we would understand the vector recovery zones. Okay? Now you can see there's a red vector candle range right there. And this is on the 1 hour time frame for the NASDAQ. And also you've got the S&P, which is doing a good job of making its way towards the previous vector candle recovery zone right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Now, listen, does that mean you just go all in, go long on Bitcoin and 100K Bitcoin? Be careful with YouTube. Be careful with all social media platforms. That will encourage you to do something, because this game of trading is nothing to do with your opinion of value. It's all about what's going to make you buy and what's going to make you sell. There is a business that is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Here is the exchange, whether that be Bybit, Binance, Femex, FTX, you name it. This is the exchange. And here's you, Mr. Retail Trader, pumping orders into Binance, into Bybit, doing all the business. Then they send those orders all the way over to Mr. Market Maker, the bad boy right there. Then Mr. Market Maker gets your order, pings it all the way back to Binance. Now you have yourself a leveraged position in Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, and you are pumped, going on the internet, trying to find out a reason to hold on to the trade, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. That's the way the business works, ladies and gentlemen. All it is just people moving money. That's what the markets are. They're moving money on their view of where they think price should be. Okay? Now, this is something that I always encourage all the traders in the Traders Reality channel. Only seek movement, not opinion. Never take a trade on opinion. Take it on movement, whether it's to the upside, to the downside. Now, let's get with the flavor. On the higher time frame, let's just go over to the daily for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin. Yes, there is a big green vector candle. Yes, they've done a good job of getting above that 50 EMA. And yes, there is a red vector candle inside of this range, which takes us back to 19th of August, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? But where are we overall? So this is, we can look at the chart technically, And we can say to ourselves, all right, how favorable does it look for Bitcoin to move up? Because it's all probabilities, ladies and gentlemen. The sooner you get that in your minds, the easier you're going to be able to manage your emotions when you are coming to trading, okay? You're either going to place a trade and it's going to be profitable or not. That's all you can work with. If there's only one outcome and there's a 50-50 chance of it playing out, why do 97% of players that come to the game of trading lose? You're only dealing with 1 or 2 outs. That's it. It's the holding on to losing trades. It's using too much leverage. It's using, mad capital. All right? And not managing your mindset correctly in relation to what it is you're trying to achieve in the game. You won't last 5 minutes. That's the truth. I'm telling you. Whether you start with $10 or $100,000, you will burn your money. If you start thinking that just because you have capital to play with, doesn't make you a trader. No. Just because you are trading doesn't mean you are a trader. All right? It just means that you've now come to an industry and a game which is not for the for the faint-hearted. And it's not the get-rich-quick adventurer's goal anyway. Do not be the get-rich-quick adventurer. That's not what trading is about. All right? Someone asked me, if I gave you 100 million, Tina, would you still trade? I'd say, of course I would. Because it's not for the money anymore. It's all for the game. It's the battle that goes in my mind against Mr. Market Maker. You are up against computers, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Elon Musk will always favor human behavior. So let's just understand what factors can affect Bitcoin. So firstly, let's go over to the high block and understand where the liquidity resides. This is a good little platform, all right? It just gives us the liquidation points for Bitcoin on Binance. So traders who are using leverage on Binance, opening trades, closing trades, doing whatever they're doing, and their liquidation points are visible inside of this chart. So let's dive into it and understand where we currently sit. As you can see, price is right here. There's estimations that down below at the 21,275, there's $779 million worth of long liquidations, followed by to the upside, $560 million worth of short liquidations at 21,925. All right. Now, this is based on the last 12 hours. Let's go on the last 7 days, given that we've just had a nice run up to the upside. So they've eaten some liquidity. All right. So here we go. In front of us, Binance, the last 7 days. Look at that. At $3.89 billion at 21,700. Okay. Now, it doesn't look like there's much liquidity nearby, but there is liquidity. Look, even if we go to 21,900, there's $1.9 billion worth of short liquidations. Go even further up, and you can see there's 3.14 at 23.65. It looks like the market maker has, in principle, started the narrative of eating the short liquidations, which is going to encourage traders to go long. So from now until during the start of the week or going into next week, we're going to start seeing a lot of longs coming in because that's what the narrative is being pushed right now. Bitcoin's going to go to the upside. Look at this. Nasty. Look at that. $22 billion worth of long liquidations eaten at the 19,300 mark. Okay? Clean bounce away. Whenever they hit a big pool of liquidity, they're always going to reverse away from it because the same way they've just released the capital at 19,800, because when short traders open positions, they're favoring price to go lower. When long traders open positions and they get liquidated, which is exactly what had happened here, what happens? Sales start to come in. Because in order to close a long, you have to sell. And that naturally encourages traders to go short. And look what happened. Price instantly reversed back up and started taking advantage of all the guys who went short here and all the guys that didn't pay themselves when they were short from over here and over here. All right? It's an equilibrium in the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? The next zone nearby, which is at 20,000... Well, 21,000, where is it? Just roughly of the 21,133, there's about 20, well, doesn't really show much liquidity there. About $20.7 billion worth of long liquidations, at short liquidations at 22K. That's the next big daddy pool of liquidity at 22K. So let's go over to price action. How close are we to the 22 zone? Look at this. Where's my hour chart? Here we go. We narrowly missed that liquidity earlier on. You can see 21,865. 22 was not too far away, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just increase the size of that for all my guys on mobiles. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry if I haven't addressed you. Mad love and respect to all my pattern watchers. What's happening? What is going on? I am synthetic, ladies and gentlemen. I am synthetic. I have this way, but I don't know what it is. Who's in the room with me tonight, man? What's going on? Yes, I like that comment. I'm not going to be someone's exit liquidity. I like that. If you can start your day, ladies and gentlemen, with that comment at the start of your trading day, you are not someone's exit liquidity. Do not be that person, all right? Then you'll have yourself a very enjoyable experience in trading, and you'll start to see the fruits of the name of the game, all right? Now, there's a lot of people expecting Bitcoin to continue higher. The word "the bottom is in," or the sentence, all right? Please do not fall for it, okay? Do not fall for the logic that the bottom is in. Now, I might be wrong, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I might be really wrong. What if the bottom is in? Problem that we've got, ladies and gentlemen, is the dominance of the dollar is still present, and we've still got a lot of business that's going to be happening this week, okay? Check this out. The calendar for next week, ladies and gentlemen, right in front of you. Tuesday, the 13th of September, we have the CPI inflation data for the US. They're talking about 8% or less, okay? So from the last reading, it came at around about 9.1. Now they're talking about it dropping down to below 8%. Happy days. What does that mean? Short term, we would expect the dominance of the dollar to continue to drop. We've got a vector zone on the dominance of the dollar down here, which leaves us at 107.6, okay? The next zone after that is 106. So if we take that logic that the dominance of the dollar is going to start dropping for the short term, because when you look at the dominance of the dollar on the higher time frames, it's just doing a little bit of a retrace, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing stopping this dollar, all right? We've already got the problem that dollar yen is still showing strength. The Japanese and the Chinese ain't doing no intervention until dollar yen hits 150. And that is a fact. All right? They ain't doing anything. They've had plenty of opportunities to do something about the strength of the dollar against the Japanese yen, yet they are not doing anything. The Japanese yen itself is down at nearly 24-year lows, ladies and gentlemen, and beyond. There's no saving this thing. There's a reason why they're holding out. Okay? Euro USD, beyond parity, at the lows, 20-year plus lows. Look at this. It's crazy where the euro is. Okay? Look at that. Phenomenal. Now, as long as the dominance of the dollar in the short term continues to drop, we're going to start seeing some recovery in the euro. So by principle of price deviating away from the mean, you can see that the euro has dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nearly 8, 9 months non-stop, not including this bad boy over here. Principle would say we would expect a bit of a reversion back into the mean to bring things back into the balance, okay? And that's all going to be based on the dominance of the dollar. You can see euro right now is trying its hardest to get above this 50 EMA. Why is it important we talk about euro? Because it makes up 55% of the dominance of the dollar. Remember, the dollar index is made up of a basket of assets, Forex assets, which I've got labeled right here, okay? Now, remember, as long as dollar goes down, Bitcoin won't have a hard time moving up, okay? Look at gold. Gold looks like it's formulating a nice W formation structure. But given all the uncertainty that's been going off around the world, ladies and gentlemen, gold should have been, in principle, the safe haven, but that wasn't happening because everything was going to the dollar. Okay? Now, some advancements in the Ukrainian and Russian dispute that's happening. Ukraine seems to be doing a good job of taking back some previous occupied areas. Does that mean it's over? No, it just means that there's a bit of a setback. We still got that problem. Okay? We've had the passing of the Queen. And everyone's all concerned, worried about what's going to happen. Quite frankly, people are only asking if the Queen's head's going to remain on the pound note. Canada are keeping it on their pound, on their Canadian dollar. Happy days. Okay? But there are so many other things that can affect the way traders come to the charts. We've got oil taking a nosedive, happy days, coming back into vector candle recovery zones. Look, they're eating each and every one of these zones slowly but surely. So as long as the oil keeps on dropping down, we ain't going to have a problem with inflation, okay? And that's going to be coming out on Tuesday, the 13th of September. Followed by more inflation data, followed by the Empire State Manufacturing Index, retail sales, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and unemployment claims. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday we have the consumer sentiment. This week is going to dictate what happens on the 21st of September, which is the almighty FOMC statement, federal funds rate, and the press conference. I'm telling you now, anything that happens from now until that point is going to be set up for a move on this day. 21st of September, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the setup. So, in my opinion, it would be wise that you pay attention to Bitcoin. It would be wise that you pay attention to the dominance of the dollar, and it would be wise that you keep an eye on euro and dollar yen, and of course, keep an eye on NASDAQ and S&P to understand trader sentiment as to why they're going to come to the charts and trade, okay? They're short-term waiting for the dollar to drop, but long-term, they are still expecting the dominance of the dollar to rise. Why? Because apparently, the market hasn't had its third hit to the downside, okay? Bearish cycles usually finish after a third hit to the low. We haven't had a third hit, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your first hit. 1. Yeah, or principally this zone. 1. Retrace. 2. Principle would say drop. 3. Structure. Some articles that were released not so long ago talking about the S&P going into 6,000. So they're already looking at the possibility of that. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, as long as the yields don't go to 3.5, then things will be okay. And why is it important that the yields don't go to 3.5? Remember, this is the Treasury yields, okay? They can mean two things. It's an indication of rising yields is an indication of inflationary situations. At the same time, it also tells investors that they are seeking more value-based assets as opposed to investing in the NASDAQ. Well, if we look at the NASDAQ over the last few days, you can see we've had 4 days of positive closes to the upside, all right? If we go over to MarketSmith, we can see up on volume, there are 433 stocks that were up on volume. Only 51 of these stocks were down on volume. Okay, no stocks were breaking out, and some near a pivot are about 39. Okay, on Friday, NASDAQ closed 2.1% up. That's a positive day. That's an accumulation day for the NASDAQ. If it's above 1% and it's positive, it's an accumulation day. That means institutional traders are picking up stock. They're buying, right? If it's minus 1% or minus 2%, that means institutional traders are actually getting rid of stock and selling. Okay. Now, the problem that we've got is the volume on the New York Stock Exchange overall was down. So traders were seeking risk. They were looking for risk, and that's where they go to the NASDAQ because tech stocks are volatile. That's why the NASDAQ and the dominance of the dollar, okay, or should I say the yields, tend to have a sort of a positive correlation. So if I do this for you, just to show you what I'm talking about, all right? We put in the US 10-year yields. Go right there. Come on. Come on, where is it? US 10-year yields. Here we go. New price scale. So look at this. All right. You can see that on the daily time frame, if I bring it up to you here, all right, just so you can see, the pullback on the yields has led NASDAQ to move up, okay? NASDAQ drops, yields rise. Why? Because investors are seeking value-based assets. So they're looking for longer-term stocks, not quick flips, all right? So we really want to see the yields drop further. So that will give room for the NASDAQ to move up, which has a positive correlation to Bitcoin. And of course, the S&P would follow suit with the NASDAQ itself, which means that if the S&P, if the S&P itself goes up, that means Bitcoin's going up because the correlation's about 71%. And in principle, we would expect the S&P to move up into the recovery of the red vector candle, which would give Bitcoin room to move up as well to recover this next red vector candle in the zone. Okay? On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, you've got USDT itself. There's a big red vector candle on USDT, but they haven't finalized the green vector candle inside of this zone. Now, listen, USDT dominance itself. This is more of a psychological chart, which tells you, in principle, if traders are actively closing, buying crypto and selling it for profit. So when you see it rising, it means that they're selling profit. They're taking advantage of gains. When they're starting to drop down, it means that they're picking up crypto. And you can see that as USDT drops, Bitcoin goes up. Now we got the problem of the vector, which we know on Bitcoin on the daily is right here. So the question on our minds is when? When is Bitcoin going to do that? All right. Quickly rolling over to the glass node itself, ladies and gentlemen. And we can see that the glass node, all right, you see these pink bits right here? These are capitulation points in Bitcoin in principle based on the net unrealized profit and losses in the chart. And we are still in capitulation, well, just coming out of it ever so slightly. Look, there we are right now. So we are in principle mindset of guys who are in net unrealized profits and losses in Bitcoin. We are in the hope category. That's where we are. As you can see, it's just turning orange right now, okay? We just come from capitulation. So in principle, some traders had experienced, or should I say holders of Bitcoin have experienced capitulation. Look, there's a W formation on capitulation, ladies and gentlemen. Does that mean Bitcoin's going to go up? I'm only joking, but who knows? What's going on in this chart, in this chat right here? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, let's actually have a conversation about that. Hold on. Let's roll over to Luna Seed. She's been bringing up some fire lately. Here we go. Terra Classic. Here we go. I mean, look, man, this is an absolute madness. I mean, the principle would say. I mean, is that a vector candle that's due for recovery, ladies and gentlemen? Would this be the daddy of all vectors? You understand? I mean, look, we're talking seriously now. Come on. I mean, that is just taking the sweet mick right now. Okay? Vector candle recovery principle. I mean, come on. Let's be honest now. You know? Let's be straight with it. How many of you believe that? How many of you believe that could be a possibility? Look at this bad boy right here. Got to be careful with these sort of plays, ladies and gentlemen. These are just no different to AMC stock, ladies and gentlemen. GameStop, all right? Same story. Everyone's pumped about it. Yippee-ki-yay to the downside, vector recovery, then do the same thing over and over again. You know? Zeta Punk, thank you very much. Tino to 100K subs. Mad love and respect. You guys make that happen, not me. You guys make that happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When moon days, when the moon. Look, man, it's. Let me just go over to Ethereum for a second for my Ether guys. All right? ETH. As you can see, Ethereum right now is doing exactly the same. It trades so much better than Bitcoin, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can see that we've got a nice structure on the daily. We've got vector zones that they've tried to come back into, but they haven't done a good job of breaking out cleanly from this zone. But we've got compression and moving averages. I'm going to be straight with you guys. The data this week that's coming out is going to be throwing Bitcoin up and down. All right? So I would really, really proceed with caution playing longer term plays like swing trades, because it can be a bit of a tricky day. No different to what it did over here, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this sort of stuff. I mean, everyone in crypto was like, what is Bitcoin doing? And pattern watchers in the Traders Reality channel were just simply trading back into vectors, ladies and gentlemen. Same story here. Bang, rip down, rip back up to only come down. Then they started with the narrative and continue with their move to the downside. But this is all you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah? Ethernet. Ethernet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me your coins, man. We're going to finalize this bad boy. Give me some coins. I want to check out some coins with you because I've got to update the patrons, man. I haven't spoken to them all day. What you got for me? Give me some coins. Moderators, do not close off the comments. Don't delete anyone's comment. I want them to spam the chat with coins because I know people have been asking about certain coins. I'm going to get the party started. XRP. Here we go. XRP. What you got for me, XRP? XRP is one of those tricky ass coins, man. Doesn't do much. When it does, it goes crazy. Here we go. All right, red vector candle on XRP, ladies and gentlemen. You'll find that most assets are going to follow what Ethereum does. All right? So whilst I'm getting myself ready to look at the chart, the chat, with you guys blowing up the comments on the coins you want me to check out, a common practice for you guys with altcoins is to go to the total market cap for the altcoins and look at what you see the overall market doing, right? So everything's at the 50 EMA, trying to get over the 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. We want assets that are above both the 50 and the 800 EMA. So let's roll with it. Here we go. Ravencoin. I've been seeing Ravencoin quite a bit, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have a look at Ravencoin, USDT. Here we go. What's Ravencoin been up to? Why is this taking so long? Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That should help. That should help. So should this and that. My days. What's going on, bro? Why is this not working? Mike, why is this not working? Okay. Ravencoin, above the 50 EMA, nearly above the 50, but above the 800 EMA. That tells us the narrative is they are pushing Ravencoin up. Now, listen, when you're trading smaller assets, guys, you're going to see this madness. You get a move on an altcoin that is a vector candle. Make sure that you get rid of the trade. Why? Because it's only going to sharply pull back down. We can look at this in hindsight and say, yeah, but Tina, if I closed here, it would have gone up and I would have missed out on an opportunity. Yeah, but you didn't know that was going to happen, bro. So a rule of thumb is if you're trading the vector candles, always try and close into the vector whilst it's being created as opposed to waiting for it to finalize and then get rid of it because you'll end up giving profits away. Okay? Next coin. Here we go. RNDR. Render token. Here we go. Right. So we've got a lot of wicks up here. Now, this is following the narrative of the total market cap. So it's at the 50, at the 800. Compression in the charts. Looks like they're trying to spike liquidity higher. So be mindful of these vector zones in render token because it could imply that the move could actually continue back up again to finalize the imbalances that are inside of the chart with these wicks right here. So be mindful of these wicks right here, ladies and gentlemen. They look, why is this not doing it, man? This thing's starting to really wind me up, man. ADA. Where are my ADA guys, man? How many of you are down with the Cardano crew? Here we go. Right, so ADA. Where's Rupert? ADA's consolidating above the 800, trying to hold that 50, doing a good job of coming back into the psychological range and bouncing away from it. You can see how they just come and kiss that range and move away from it, okay? But the narrative is they're pushing up, looking like they want to roll over. Could that be the heads up? Could the altcoins give us the heads up of where Bitcoin's likely to end up? Because if you have more people in altcoins trying to move price lower, or should I say get rid of assets, Bitcoin's such a big asset. It's going to take a while for Bitcoin to move, okay? Unless there's like a news play and he just completely flushes out of the zone, okay? Solana. USDT. Yeah, Binance. What is going on? Sol. There we go. All right, so Solana looks like it's consolidating again. We've got a nice big structure right here. I like it when it trades like this. We just get rid of that bad boy right there. Okay, then, cool. So one would assume we've got a W formation inside of this area. There's consolidation. They've moved away. That's an imbalance. Now we are in a balance for the chart itself. We've got vectors up here. We're still at the 800 EMA, 50. So this is following the narrative of the altcoins across the board. I want an altcoin that's above the 800 EMA on the hourly. Only give me coins that are actually doing that. Get on your charts. Tell me who's looking at coins that have shown volatility in the chart, and I'll explain why in a second. Let's have a look. What you got for me? I'm not going to do Luna because we know that's all the way above it. Rune. Let's have a look at Rune. Is Rune above the 50 and the 800? Let's have a look. It's above. Yeah, no, it's not above the 8. Oh, wow. It's not even anywhere near that 800. But listen, what I'm trying to get at, guys, is this, okay? When you've got an asset that is doing it going against the narrative of what's happening across the board. So if there is an asset, give me some assets that can do it so I can tell you what I'm talking about, man. I should know this myself. I should have done my homework. Matic, here we go. Still below the 800 EMA. Algo, there you go, still below. It's actually above it. So I want something that's above the 50 EMA. Sorry, above the 50 EMA. GLMR. Here we go. USDT. Bybit. Okay, so here's an example. Right, above the 800, above the 50, above the 200. What the narrative says is if all the altcoins across the board are still trading at the 800 and the 50 EMA and price is compressed, yet you've got an asset like this that's trading above it, any retrace that is met in this asset, when everything else starts to turn above the 800 EMA and the 50 crosses over the 800, principle would say that this asset is going to have an aggressive move away from that zone and show stronger support to move higher. That's what the principle says. We've got vector zones right here that we need to be aware of as well, so we can trade into these zones. When you trade into vector candles, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to give the asset a chance to move. Do not be using 100x leverage because your entry point will be here, okay? Your liquidation zone in principle, all right, would be, say, for example, down here. And you can see how much of a fruitcake this coin is because it just moves up and down because there's thousands of traders doing that same thing and opening at the same spot because they're given the same reason to go long. Big candles to the upside, bullish candles. Big pumps on YouTube, social media, crypto, Twitter. You know, it's all madness, all right? You don't go long when price is moving higher. No, you don't go long from here. That's the sad traders, the traders who ain't got no understanding of the game. You can only empathize with them. Feel sorry for them. Try and get the message across to them that you don't go long at the highest price. You go long from the lowest price. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the game of trading starts. When you're trying to work out where it's possible for you to grab the lowest point in the chart to sell from the highest point of the chart. As my guy said it, don't be the exit liquidity. Next, let's have a look at Algo. USDT. Here we are. All right, then is Algo above the 800 and the 50? How many of you in the room tonight, ladies and gentlemen? 1,104 of you and only 300 or so of you like the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, when are you people going to be matching up with the likes on the stream? It's free of charge, man. It doesn't cost you absolutely anything to like the stream. The most minimal effort required. Bang. Will Smith, slap it. Do what you need to do to that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Finished. Ain't going to ask again. Oh, man, I should be tired, man. I've come from a 3.5-hour journey, and I am pumped. Watch when I finish this live stream. I'm going straight to bed. Finish. Good night. Atom is leading. That's what I want to see. Okay, Atom. Let's have a look at Atom. USDT. All right, then. Here we go. Here's the concept right now. Come on, man. Why is this thing so slow? Right. At the 50... lots of volatility in Atom, all right? 800 EMAs all the way down there. We are cool. So if we start getting some volatility tonight, ladies and gentlemen, going into Monday, principle will say that Atom's behavior will continue to the upside, go into the higher time frames to understand how likely that's going to be the case. Now, we can see that we've come back into imbalances, and we are very imbalanced in the chart on the 4-hour time frame. And you can see that the 5 and 13 are starting to compress right now. So this tells me that from imbalance onto balance, we expect another imbalance. That imbalance might lead price down lower. We've got vector candles in the range. If this candle wasn't here and it was all the way up here, then we would be able to rely on the logic that the 5 and the 13 EMA could act as support. But the 4-hour time frame is giving us a different story. Okay? So longer term, maybe over the next 24 to 48 hours, we would see Atom starting to break down and recover the vector, which is what might actually happen with Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So if we go over to Bitcoin right now, you can see, I mean, Bitcoin is trading very treacherously. Look at this, man. Traders are trying to work out what Bitcoin's going to do next. And the good thing about Bitcoin on the 4-hour is we do have the 200 EMA, the 5 and 13 EMA as potential points of support. As you can see, they've tapped that zone and moved away from it. And they don't seem to be doing too well at holding the 5, but they're closing above it, which is good news for us because people are rushing into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Now, Let me have a look at what else you got here. Anytime, Road Dog Crypto, mad love. What else have we got? Give me some more coins. What have we got here? S Fund. What are these coins like? It's fun. $2. Okay, nice imbalance right there on the higher time frames. That's good. Trades nicely, this does. Wow, what a swinging asset. Look at this. Quite new. Happy days. Now, there could be a great utility behind this coin. I don't know. I'm looking for movement. What can justify this move up? Well, everything's moved up. That's because of the dominance of the dollar. We got news coming out that people mad love, me lad. We got news articles coming out saying that inflation looks like it's starting to roll over, which could lead us to this move that's happened in crypto overall. You know? Why is everything under the weekly 200 EMA and holding? Okay, let's just go over to Bitcoin for a second on the weekly. For my guys who like to hold on the higher time frames, let's just go to the weekly time frame itself. All right, cool. Here's the weekly. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. Look at that bad boy right there. Oh, no, thank you. See, we look at the vectors down here and we say, yeah, it could come back down to that zone. I believe it's going to come down to that zone at some point, okay? But we could get price moving up for the... Look at this. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, price was moving away from that zone, okay? They come into the vector recovery ranges right here, and they spent 7 weeks moving away from it. Now they've had 2, 3 weeks where they've moved down and recovered all of this liquidity right here, okay? We need to see the start of next week, which is in 58 minutes time, right? We really need that candle to show strength to move high, because if they start recovering this wick, this green vector candle, we're probably going to see 50% of this vector getting recovered. So be very careful with that, all right? Look at this guy. Let me see what else we got. If I talk Cadena, you will sub. You know what? Anything for the sub, bro. Cadena, here we go. Wow. Oh, this is the weekly time frame. Okay, then. You should be subbing anyway, my friend. You're bribing me right there. All right, then. Same thing across the board. Below the 800 EMA, imbalance right there. Holding the 50, 200 EMA. What does that tell you about this asset? Tells you no volatility, except this little burp in the chart. Okay? The best time for you guys to trade, in my opinion, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's no coincidence that all the major news announcements that we're waiting for are going to be happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Chucking another Friday in there as well. These are the times that you trade. Tonight, sit and chill with the family. Tomorrow, kick back with the family. They'll initiate the false move. Tuesdays when they start getting the party started to assemble the charts to get assets ready for the setup for news. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. If you are new to the channel and you haven't got access to these indicators, get yourself over to the Traders Reality website where you can download it, or just simply search for tradersreality.com. Sorry, Traders Reality in TradingView. Okay? Get with the pattern watchers in the Discord. It's a big community in there. Lots of conversations. I obviously try and make my hardest, get myself over there as often as I can, but I get lost in conversations over there. And if you haven't done so already, check out the Patreon as well, where you get access to the masterclass sessions, 75 of them, and we do live streams, live trading, and what have you. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Get ready for the fire this week, guys. It's going to be a mad week, all right? If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe, and we will bring that fire to you at the New York session, 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Mad love and respect, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves, and I'm sorry it was so late. Peace.